Okay, so a couple of things first. I'm going to be sharing screen today. That's why it looks a little different. First thing is that our next meeting is Thursday, March 12th, 2020 at the VFW in Valley Stream. If you haven't signed up, go to www.meetup.com/NASA-county-REA. We're changing the format a little bit this month for the first time. First hour, 6 to 7, is newbie hour, and then 7 to 9 is going to be our regular schedule. We'll have a presentation around 8, networking, the usual. Second thing is, and this is relevant to what this video is about. So, if you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. If you haven't liked the videos that you like, please click the thumbs up and like, share, and comment. And we're getting a lot more comments, and we're getting comments asking for certain content. So we're doing a video today on how to find the buyers list, how to build a buyers list. Even though, ironically, the video that I sent before said, don't spend any time building a buyers list. I'm going to reiterate that. I think if you don't have deals, you should spend no time on building a buyers list. But if people asked how to build a buyers list, I'm going to assume you have a deal and you want to find buyers for it. So I'm going to go through a good method of using MLS, right? Multiple listing service. If you are not a licensed agent, or you don't, then you better find someone who is, because you need access to multiple listing service so that you can do what I'm about to do. I don't believe that anyone who does what we do should not be licensed. I just think it's too easy, and the data you can get from it is so much better than anything you can get for free that's worth it. So I am now going to share my screen, and I'm going to show you, sorry, my phone. I'm going to show you how you can look for property. So we just wholesale the property in Seaford. So this is what I would do if I had a property, or I was about to get a property and I wanted to know prices and find buyers for it. So the first thing I do is I go to listings, I do search, and then I would look in that area. So I do a map, I do unavailable, I only want properties that sold, and I do a map search. Then you click continue and you put in the address. So the address of the property that we wholesaled is 519 Heathcliff Drive in Seaford. Okay, so if I was looking to really comp out the property, which I did before, I'd be very more specific in what I'm going to do here. But right now, I'm looking for investors who have bought property in the area. So I'm just going to build a circle in this area and say I'm going to look for any investors that bought property in that circle. Okay, I'll make this bigger. And I am going to then sort it by title date for the most recent. So I'm looking for the most recent properties. So obviously not all of these are going to sell to an investor, but I'm going to show you how to find the ones that did sell to an investor. Now, of course, every single thing I'm teaching you now is a moot, because this entire multiple listing service, which is called Stratus, is changing to one key, which is good, because Stratus is probably the worst multiple listing service that I've ever seen, and it's horrible. I'm hoping one key is better. I got a chance to see multiple listing services in Chicago and a few different ones in Florida and in California, and ours by far the worst. So we're changing, and hopefully it's going to be for the better. So let's look at the most recent properties that sold, and let's see if they sold to an investor. So we have this 523 Siemens Neck Road in Seaford. So let's do a quick look inside, and it looks like it's a flip, right? It looks like somebody did all this work. Now let's check. So it sold for $575. So we're always going to check for short sale and REO. Obviously, this is not a short sale or an REO, but it sold pretty quickly at the price. And then let's go to public record and see if we can see if it sold soon before. So, and it did. So in September of 2019, which is not a few months ago, it sold for $430, and then somebody did work to it and sold it for $575. So the question is, how do we find out who this person who bought it and flipped the property is? Because maybe we want to sell them again. And the answer is that we are going to go to another website after we write down the section, block, and lot. So I'm going to write down 52, 440, and 36. And I'm going to go to uslandrecords.com, and I'm going to do a section search. Deeds and mortgages section search. You may have to subscribe to I mean, it's free, but you may want to just get a thing. So I'm going to put in 52, 440, and then 36. And then I'm going to search, and I'm going to see what recorded instruments were there. And I'm going to see that in 2019, There is a mortgage. Wow, somebody actually took like a regular mortgage on this. It's possible it's not an investor, but it's very strange if someone would buy a property. This is like a one-time kind of thing. They took like a regular mortgage, said they were going to move in there, and then sold it. Because this is a regular mortgage. But the deed is going to show you information here. So we're going to see who the buyer was that bought it in October. So I'm going to make this screen bigger. I'm going to make the words bigger. And I'm going to see a deed. And I'm going to see that someone bought it from a trust, and it went to Lillian Haas. Okay. Joanna's Lilikas, and she has an address in Belmore. So that is going to tell me something that I can go search, right? I can look up that person, and I can probably skip trace them and find out who they are in a minute. I'm going to call them and ask them if they want another property. That's one. That's unlikely. Most times people are not going to buy this in a personal name, but okay. Next property. This is newly renovated, but does not look like a flip. It's not a short sale in REO, and it does not look like someone flipped this. I'm just going to go to public record and see the last time someone bought it. And the last time someone bought it was 2013. So nobody flips for 7 years. That's a long time. So that's not an investor that's there. The next one is 470 Whittier. No pictures. And this is Get the Pro. So this is definitely definitely without a doubt an investor. The owner is 470 Whittier LLC. And they put it for 469 as well. All right. So how are we going to find out how to get in touch with this guy? This Get the Pros, I think, is an investor already. You can actually call them, but let's just look further. So let's see when they bought it. They sold it for 450, and they paid 340, and they bought it from the bank at an auction in September. So let's write this down. The section's 51, block 437-19, and I am going to go to this U.S. Land Records, which has everything for Nassau County, and I'm going to go look up 51 437-19, and I am going to see what shows up. So first of all, always look on the bottom. You see there's multiple pages. You want to go to the last page. That's the most recent. So this January is what just sold. So let's look at the transaction that happened in September. And there is no mortgage, but 470 Whittier LLC. Let's make this bigger. And let's see if we can get an address for that LLC. 470 Whittier LLC, and I got 505 South Broadway in Hicksville, New York. So let me write that down, 505 South Broadway. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go search that address. I think that's Get the Pros Realty. I think that, because I've seen them before, 505 South Broadway in Hicksville. And you're going to see it's one person there, and it's a single occupancy property, and it's Get the Pros Realty. So we can just call that company if you want. I mean, they're listed. It's a real estate company. I forgot what it's called, property something. But you could. The point is that on that listing, you can call them and say, "Hey, I have a property for sale," because they have this whole system going on there where they have the realty, and that's the company that bought it for sure. Okay, let's do another one. 10 Rural Lane in Levittown. Let's take a quick look. This is definitely a flip. Sold for 460. So let's see what's going on. Purchaser was Cleary. Oh, I'm Fry sold it to them. So let's see if they bought it before. It's amazing how many folks we got right away. Yeah, and they bought it 322,500. So they definitely flipped this. So let me write down the section block a lot. 51 397 3. 51 397 3. And let's go take a look at that in U.S. Land Records. 51 397 3. And let's see what the recorded instruments are. So you see the problem with the lot number is 3. Anything with a 3 in front of like a 30 shows up. So you want to go to the last page, and you'll see none of these are the right lot. These are all different properties. So let's go. But here, the last one is May of 2019. That is going to give us some information. We'll see a deed, who bought it, and then we can maybe get an address and figure it out. So who bought it in May, And it's a person, Robert Fry. And here's his address, 533 Charles Lane in Wanton, New York. So you can skip trace that guy and find them and say, hey, you're interested in another property. So this is what I would do. I would look at people that bought properties and recently sold them, and I would call them and say, hey, are you interested in buying more? Some of these guys might have lost money on the deal, and they might say, I'm never doing that again. But a lot of these guys are going to say, yeah, I want more. So that is how I would build a buyer's list. But you got to have a deal first, and you got to look in a certain property. You got to look in a certain area. I mean, that's the way I look at it. So that is what I would do, right? I'd get a deal, look in that area on MLS for properties that recently were flipped or bought by investors. Sometimes I'll look at an REO or a short sale and I'll see who just bought it, because 99% of people buying REOs and short sales, it has to be all cash, and it's going to be an investor. That's what I would do. So if you want to build a buyer's list, that's how I'd build a buyer's list, but I wouldn't spend 1 second building a buyer's list until I had a deal. If you have the best buyer's list in the world, there's not much you could do with it. But if you have deals coming in, you'll always find a way to make money. So that's it.